Hi, in this video series, we'll be talking about working with numeric functions in SAS. As you all know, SAS functions are very important tools in data step programming. We use SAS functions to perform rounding, to compute the dates, to summate, to average, and many other things. So we'll be dealing with one function in one video. The video will be a short video, and in this video I'll be talking about functions that are used to round and truncate the numeric values. So we'll take very simple examples to understand. Before we go into the examples, let's understand the syntax of this function. And here in how it goes is we have a variable, and then we have equal to sign, then we have function that is called as round, and in the parentheses we have two things. One is the value that we need to round off, and second thing is round off unit. So probably as we go through the examples we'll be able to understand this better. So let's take the first example. So first example we have a variable that is x, and in the data lines we have the values for this variable, and every value has 2 digits after the decimal point. We want to round this variable. We have to remove these digits which are after the decimal, and we want to round it to the nearest integer. So we use the function x is equal to round, and in the parentheses we have value that has to be rounded, so we have x. So since we have to round the values of x, now you would be thinking, where is this particular second factor? So we don't have this round off unit in this particular example. Basically the default is 1. So we'll see what happens when we run this program. So to understand, let's first run the program without the function so that we know how it exactly looks like. So I'll comment this out and then we'll run this. So I click the running man here, and what I get is all the observations of x. I go back again and I uncomment this, and now let's see what this function does. Okay, amazing. So what we have is we had the value 1.64, which has been rounded to the nearest value, that is 2. And if you look at this one, 2.36, it is rounded to the nearest one, that is 2 again, because 2.3 is closer to 2 than it is closer to 3. So it's a simple rounding function that we have done over here, and we did not specify any round off unit in this particular example. Okay, so let's go a step further and we'll try to round off this to the first decimal place. So here, since we have 2 digits after the decimal, we wanted to round it off to the 1 digit after the decimal. So what we do here is, again, we do the same function, and I have here x is equal to round, and in the parentheses I have x, and then I have 0.1. 0.1 specifies that I want to round this value so that I get 1 digit after the decimal point. Now let's see first, let's first see how it looks without the functions. So we are rounding to the first decimal place, and here it is. We have the same data set. We go back and uncomment this out, and now run this. Click the running man, and here we are. So if you notice here, what has happened is it was 6.4, so it is rounded to the nearest, that is 6. 3.6 is more closer to the first thing, that is 4. So we have the value as 2.4. So this is how the rounding happens. So we can have a rounding, we can have various values, such as we can have 0.01. If you want 2 digits after the decimal, we can have 0.001. If you want to have 3 digits after the decimal, of course, then we need to have more digits in the data lines, and we can have rounded to the nearest 100. So you can guess what it will round off to. All the values, the nearest 100 place is the 0. So to understand what I have done, let's just put one value which is comparatively closer to 100. Maybe we'll put 59.85. Let's see what happens now. Okay, so this was closer to 100 as compared to 0. So we have come close to. So it is rounded off to 100. So that is the function of round off unit over here. Now similarly, we can round to the nearest even number. So what we'll put here is 2. And let's look at this example. Let me first comment out this and let me run the program. So we have our original values. So here are original values, and let's go here, and now let's just be here and let's just uncomment this, and then let's run the program and clicking the running man here, and we have it rounded to the nearest even number. Now look at this, it's 1.6. The nearest even number is 2. 2.3. You know what with the two even numbers around it, we have 2, and the other side we have 4, so it is closer to 2, so we have it 2 here. 3.4 is closer to the nearest even number, that is 4, so we have 4 here. So hopefully you understand what's happening. So let's go and check out one more thing. Now here we had the decimals, so it was easy to select the nearest even number. Now imagine a situation where you have data values which are already rounded. We have the whole numbers here, we have the integers, and we don't have the decimals. And where will it get rounded? So if we have 3, where will it round to? Will we get 4 or will we get 2 to the nearest? So let's just try it out. Let me just comment it so that we have the values for comparison, and then we run the program. So these are our values, this is the observations, and now let's uncomment this out, and then let's run the program. Look at this. So 1 is rounded to 2, 2 remains 2 because that is the nearest even number. 3 is rounded to 4, and 5 to 6, and 5 to 6, 8 remains 8, and 7 to 8. So probably that is what this 2 and this round function does. So we have one program here. So I've taken this program from the book Learn with Examples. So this in this program, what is done is we have created a data truncate, and we have taken two variables, age and weight. If you look at the data lines, our age has, it is in decimals, so we want to round it off to the birth date. You can say we have to drop out all the fractional part, and weight is given in pounds. So we have to round it off again to a round number here. And also we are trying to calculate weight in kgs. So what we have done here is age, we have taken integer age, so that will drop off. It is very similar to rounding it off, taking off all the fractional part and getting integers. So that's what it's doing here. And then we are taking weight again, we're rounding off this weight, and we'll get a round number, and we are using weight kg to calculate the weight in kgs, and we have put this formula inside this. So what we are rounding is not the weight, what we are rounding is 2.2 multiplied by weight. So this is the variable that we are actually rounding, and we are rounding it to 0.1 decimal place. So let's see the results. So it's here we have weight which is rounded off, weight in pounds which is rounded off, and we have weight in kgs that was rounded to 1 decimal, first decimal place. So hopefully that makes a round and int function for the numeric data clear, and we'll continue next with our subsequent numeric functions in the further classes. Thank you.